Predator's Errand, Part 2, Broken Medicine. Morgana Crosswood, the daughter of Rebecca and Magnus, inherited her grandfather's shamanic power to control animals. When her powers manifested at age 13, every fox, wolf, coyote, and bird of prey came out of the woods and surrounded the small town they were in. Many people were killed when the men came out with their shotguns and torches to run the beasts off. The family manages to escape in the confusion, but the witch hunters catch up to them in short order. When Rebecca and Magnus are being bound to the burning post, Morgana picks up a branch and attacks the hunters. One of them hits her in the face with a burning torch, horribly burning the right side of her face. They burn her parents and leave Morgana for dead. Algernon Crownthorn, who had been tracking the witch hunters, arrives as they are leaving. One dies with a dagger in his skull. The one who burned the girl isn't that lucky. Algernon extends his right hand. Upon seeing the eye tattooed on the palm, the man stops. Crownthorn says, "There are insects crawling all over your face. Kill them." The man repeatedly smashes himself in the face with his burning torch. Algernon saves Morgana and teaches her to control her powers. For the next couple of years, they travel all over Europe, killing witch hunters where they find them. The ones not devoured by Morgana's wolves or killed by Algernon's daggers are made to kill themselves and or their allies by Crownthorn's evil eye tattoo. In 1818, they traveled to Louisiana to continue experimenting, where the climate was perfect for growing the rare plants and herbs that Algernon brought back from the jungle. They opened an apothecary called the Elixir Iniquitatis. Using different combinations of plant alkaloids and primitive incantations, he creates several different potions. Some heal, some tranquilize, some dissolve steel, some are potent hallucinogens, and one reanimates dead flesh. In 1819, he begins experimenting with animals. By 1820, he's regularly kidnapping human test subjects. Wilhelm and Miranda Longfellow. After searching all over Europe for a cure to the strange disease that Miranda was falling prey to, they traveled to America. After getting no answers from the medical community, they began to look into magical ways of healing, which leads them to Louisiana and Crownthorn and Crosswood. Never one to turn away a potential test subject, Crownthorn agrees to help find a cure. They use the Longfellow fortune to outfit a lab in the basement of the apothecary. After months of testing and failed cures, Crownthorn concludes that a pharmacological cure was not possible and suggests another way of saving Miranda, removing her brain and putting it into a healthy body. Wilhelm reluctantly agrees. Choosing a new body was easy. Acquiring it cost Wilhelm his illusions about good and evil. Any price was acceptable to see Miranda whole again. Kidnapping and mutilating an innocent young woman was something he would just have to learn to live with. After hours of surgery, Miranda's living brain was placed in a glass cylinder where it floated in a fluid created by Crownthorn to keep it alive while it waited for a new body. On the night Wilhelm went to kidnap the young woman he'd been stalking, Algernon and Morgana made off with the rest of the Longfellow fortune, leaving Wilhelm to return to an empty shop, except for Miranda's brain and a Colt revolver. Wilhelm picks up the gun and executes his hostage, then turns the gun on himself. With his finger on the trigger, he hears Miranda's voice in his head. "Are you there, my love?" Wilhelm drops the gun and looks at the brain. "Miranda, is that you?" Miranda says, "Yes, my love. Did you get my new body?" Wilhelm pauses for a long moment. "She wouldn't have done us any good. They took everything." Miranda says, "Somehow I can see them. They're headed north. Here, let me show you, my love." Wilhelm sees a huge circus tent just outside of a burning town in his mind. Without a word, he picks up the gun, puts Miranda in a case, and leaves the dead girl in the shop to go on the hunt. Algernon and Morgana take the Longfellow's money and use it to start the Crownthorn and Crosswood Circus and Freak Show. Miranda's body becomes the first freak in the menagerie of aberrations. Morgana begins gathering beasts for her dangerous predator show, while Groundthorn creates composite creatures using parts of different animals and humans, then animating them to an unnatural life. Some work, some serve as bodyguards, and some are designated to acquire new test subjects. Traveling from town to town, Crownthorn and Crosswood leave a trail of missing people and livestock. Smaller towns are used as laboratories until all the people are used in experiments or fed to Morgana's beasts. Then the town is razed to the ground. They head north, all the while looking for the last piece of the mystery that would manifest the formulation of the elixir vitae. Back to Isaiah and Smedley. I wake up to a fucking pillar of smoke on the horizon, and Smedley dropping a rabbit at my feet. Smedley says, "Better eat something, that smoke is 10 miles away." I say, "We should be there by sunset. Thanks for the rabbit." Smedley says, "What do you think it is?" Isaiah says, "No telling, but it's sure as fuck bigger than a campfire." We make it to a rise about half a mile from what used to be a mining town. All that's left are some charred timbers sticking up out of the ashes. We go down for a closer look. The only sign of life is some wagon tracks heading north. As we stomp through the ashes, parts of my vision play back in my mind, making me feel like I've been here before. We make camp about a mile away. Neither one of us says much. Okay, back to Wilhelm and Miranda, sitting in the barn. Miranda says, "I want to touch you again, my love. It's so strange. I have no eyes, yet I see. I have no body, yet I am incarnate. I am nowhere and everywhere. I see worlds within worlds. I feel the shadow and the stardust blowing through them. I see the world through the eyes of a ghost, or a god." Wilhelm says, "We're close. The last couple towns were reduced to blood and ashes. You'll be whole again to be avenged." At this point, Wilhelm is looking sick and strung out because she's keeping him up all the time in a dream state. Okay, Miranda says, "No matter what happens to me, he has to be stopped. The reckless fury of his gambit to seize the Godhead is creating a river of blood and pain that could flood the world. Rest now, my love. Come dream with me." Okay, back to Algernon, Morgana, and Jacob. A large tent on a mountain plateau, halfway between the sea and the sky. Inside the tent's a large cage that holds Jacob in his human form. Groundthorn stands outside the cage, and next to him is his personal bodyguard. The body is a large stag. The horns have been fitted with blades. Stitched to the back of the stag is a human torso with the head of an alligator. The right hand is a long blade, and the left hand is a mace. Algernon removes his coat and hangs it off one of the antlers. He goes to the cage and walks in. He pulls off his shirt. His entire body is covered in tattoos of sigils, seals, runes, and representations of jungle gods and animal totems. He cracks his knuckles and says, "On your feet, boy. Let's see what an Aquahani wolf witch is made of." Jacob pulls himself up, stands. Crownthorn holds out his right hand, says, "Show me your spirit, boy." Jacob transforms to his lupine form and tries to attack Crownthorn. He hears Morgana's voice command him to stop. He takes a knee, unable to move, and he hears Morgana whispering in his mind, "You're mine now, Ghost Raven. We're going to have all kinds of fun together, sweetheart." Okay, that was part 2, Broken Medicine. Next time around, part 3, Crooked Crossroads. So, Sweetwater and good hunting to you, and until our paths cross again.